Thriver podcast. I'm Christina Johnston.
And I'm Bridget Kostas.
And we really think you guys should listen because we think we're pretty funny.
We are pretty funny.
Yeah.
We're unfiltered. It's real. It's sometimes what you need to hear.
Sometimes what you don't.
But tune in.
Tune in. That was good.
That works.
Okay. Okay, Bridget and I just, before I can even say happy 12th episode, I think we're saying happy last episode of season 1.
Happy last episode.
Right?
Oh my gosh, we're going into season 2.
We're going into season 2. Now, really, if we were smart, we would have timed this better so that it was like, welcome to season 2. But you just asked me this morning, should we be thinking about this? And I was like, oh, you're so brilliant.
I know. We're kind of newbies here.
I know. So, okay.
So next Friday.
Next Friday's in season 2. And do we have something special for next week? Well, just, Bridget's famous for her shirts, but we got something spicy for our listeners next week.
Oh, yeah. We have a new outfit.
So stay tuned and,
You'll find out. I love our hype man. Hype man's back. Welcome back, Raul.
Raul, we missed you. It's been a while since we've seen you.
What's up, guys?
Like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been about 3 weeks back in the meat locker.
Oh,
Happy New
that's
Year.
right.
Happy New Year.
Now, Raul he wears many hats and works many jobs, and this is just one of his many. So this guy is like, doesn't sleep, but he's always so excited to see us, and it makes us so happy.
It does.
We love seeing him
he's
too.
Happy energy. We love him.
Yeah.
I get excited to watch how funny you guys are.
You get paid to say that, but we'll take it. I mean, you literally do. So
I get paid to work the show. I don't get paid to talk good about the show. That's free, and that's just coming out of my heart.
I like it. That's out of the heart. Okay.
We accept.
Loving a little Raul today.
So, Bridget, I have to say, this has been such a funny week.
Are you still cleaning?
I'm still cleaning like crazy town. And we got an email. Do you want to share the email we got?
Oh, yes.
At our connect at backseatthriver.com.
I know. We had a fan, and we're super excited. So in our last episode, we were talking about, getting the new you for the new year, some of the things that we forget to review, clean, remove, refresh, purge, as Christina has been purging all December,
yes.
all year long.
Yep.
Wait, I just hear you're purging like the movie? No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll find out. But ultimately, we're talking about all these different areas that you forget, throughout your home. Like, oh my God, that needs to be clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like your 2 feet of lint in your laundry room. One of the things that one of our fans had emailed us, don't forget under your refrigerator.
Ugh, yep.
Okay, that you don't realize
That's disgusting.
how disgusting underneath your refrigerator is until it gets repaired or until you move and you're like, oh my.
So ashamed.
That's where that magnet went. That's where that one, picture of the kids went. But one of the other things that I thought was super important, and I have to admit that I was not doing this as regularly as I should have been.
Okay.
Is if you're a pet owner, clean your pet's food and water dishes.
Oh, that's such a good one.
How often do you, like, if your dog eats dry food, like, you just gotta throw it in there every day.
Yep. And they're slobbering in it and water gets dirty.
I know.
Clean that.
I know. Yeah. Well, and a lot of the bowls now are like those stainless steel bowls.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't see if there's, any mold or any residue in that water bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to reach in there and feel it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should be giving your animals fresh water every day, if not twice a day. If you don't have, don't.
Oh boy. All right.
Don't get me started.
Wash pet bowls, fresh water. Got it.
And then your steam cleaner or your iron reservoir.
Oh, those get so nasty.
Okay, so like when you're ironing and all of a sudden you've got like white flakes
Yes.
all over. Yeah,
That's from a dirty reservoir?
That's from all of the buildup that happens in your iron. So this was probably about a year ago. My husband's like, why do I have white crumbles like all over my clothes? And we flip the iron around because you usually don't look at like the metal component. You know it's hot and you start ironing. Yeah. You flip it around and there's like all of this calcium deposits all over the bottom of the iron. Yep. So you go through, clean it up really good. But ever since then, he empties the water reservoir as soon as we're done ironing. Do you like
iron together or does he iron?
He irons.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I hate ironing. My mom is so good at ironing. It's like I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, can you take my clothes and iron them? Because I can't do it like you can. Because I can't. It's really hard.
Bad.
I know.
You just bring them over.
Yeah. Mommy, help.
In your dry cleaning bag. Here you go, Mom.
Well, I'm not that bad. No, but she's excellent at ironing.
Do you just bring her over for lunch and you just have like all these clothes out
what
and
is
your
this?
ironing
A bag
board?
of clothes that needs ironing? I'll send you home with it.
So weird.
Okay, so in this, in this new year refresh, I've decided I want to be a little more fashionable sometimes. It's going from working every day and going into an office. And now for the last 6 months, I've been wearing sweatpants and sports bras. I'm just kind of like,
jealous.
It's great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, when I get dressed up, or not even dressed up, dressed to go outside of my house.
When you put a bra on.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I should, maybe I should change out of sweatpants or leggings or whatever. So now this was a bit of a controversial decision for myself. I bought a pair of Doc Martens.
Yes.
And one of my friends was like, you're turning 40. Are you trying to be 14? And I was like, I believe that. That's like definitely crossed my mind. And then I talked to you and you were like, yes, do it. So then
I'm a child of the 90s. Like I grew up in the 90s. Yeah. That's super grunge. I had Doc Martens. My daughter just got a pair of Doc Martens. I am contemplating getting Doc Martens. Now that you bought some, I'm going to have to I'll put some in my cart.
Okay, so I picked out my outfit and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. And then I was like, wait a second. Let's try the Doc Martens on. I'm meeting Bridget. Like if anyone's going to be supportive, it's going to be her. So I put them on, but I had on this black jacket, blah, blah, blah. It was like, so I decide not to today. So I meet Bridget this morning and I was like, you would have been so proud. I almost wore it, but I really needed more of like a feminine top because I had on this black jacket and I looked too like grunge. And then I was like, or like I'm trying to be too edgy or something or like too young. And Bridget, I have never seen anyone do this before. This be side eyes my outfit like this because I'm wearing these. You can only see the dirty. How do I get? Okay, I'm wearing some high top Nikes, and she just goes, "You're worried about trying to look young?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, But it's so true, right? Because I'm worried about Doc Martens, and yet I'm wearing
if I put these Doc Martens on with this outfit, it's gonna make me look like I'm trying too hard to be young. What you wearing?
Yeah. Okay. You ain't got a problem today, apparently. So thank you, BK, as You're always, welcome. For keeping You're it welcome. Real. You dirty bee.
Speaking of keeping it real, that's what we do.
We do.
Keep it real.
We do. I hate you. / I love you, but I really hate
honest. You know what? If you don't have a friend that keeps it real, then you walk around with holy clothes.
Did you see that I had a total piece of black pepper in between my front 2 teeth this morning?
You didn't?
I totally did. I got in the car and I was like, what the heck, Bridget?
It's because you weren't smiling at me after I made that comment. I think that's what it was. You were a little
My
pissy.
angry face was on.
You got your angry eyes on this morning.
That's right. That's right. Today's going to be fun because we're going to be a little bit all over the place because we have a million things to talk about. But we have so many tangents that as our listeners know, sometimes we like to just go down a rabbit hole here and there.
We do. And we always like to throw out these disclaimers. although we are not scientists, although we are not experts, although we do not have anything with 2 to 3 letter credentials besides our name.
Wait a second. No. You're remember when we talked about this and then we said that my title was like DE, domestic engineer, and yours was, do you remember this? I have this written in a note somewhere what you are, and it's hysterical. But now I'm trying to, and I'm an ordained minister.
Oh, that's right. You are an ordained minister.
But you had credentials too. Yeah, Raul. So if you ever get married, I run I do a pretty mean ceremony.
You actually do.
I'd love to see what a backseat thriver wedding looks like.
Okay, Bridget was there when I ordained a wedding. Is that right? No. When I officiated a wedding. Yeah.
You were actually really good. I was really impressed.
Yeah, it was good.
You're funny. It was endearing. I think it helped that you knew a little bit about those that were getting married. Yep. So, you had a little background, but I loved just the compassion and the emotion that went into it. I think everybody was crying and laughing and crying and laughing.
I did a bang-up job.
You did good.
The DJ came up to me afterwards and he was like, "Hey, do you have some cards? I have like a bunch of clients I think you'd be great for." And I was like, "Cards for what?" And he was like, "For like being an officiant." I was like, "Oh, this is the first wedding I've ever done." And he was like, "What? That was the best wedding I've ever seen."
It was good. I don't know if you could pull it off again. You might have to try.
Who knows? But Raul, sign me up. I'll be there for you.
Pimp her out in the bathroom.
Wait, what?
Ordained minister at Backseat Thriver.
Is this a high wire? He'll put it in the bathroom there?
Exactly.
Okay, where's our high wire peeps at? We need you guys to follow us on Insta. Okay, get with it.
I'll make sure everyone starts following you guys. I'll post it. I'll make sure the Highwire family supports because, yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to the Highwire family.
Get on it.
Get on it. I like it.
Okay, cool. All right, so Bridget, talk to us a little bit about where are we going today?
We're going to be all over the place. And as I threw out our disclaimer, although
I'm sorry, I took us off rail again.
Although we are not experts, we have expert experience in a lot of the things that we'll be reviewing today. Yeah. But it goes back to our new year, new you, cleaning from, everything that we've been historically talking about has been the exterior, the things that are going, how do you clean your living space? Mm-hmm. How do you, make your life a little bit easier to navigate with all this clutter, right? So now, one of the things that Christina and I were talking about this week, and it came up through an experience of orange eyelids, but it's all of these things that we're doing to declutter and clean our our environment. What are we doing to stay clean? Internally, how do we make sure that the products, the lotions and potions and mixtures and everything and tinctures that we use on a daily basis, like what are we actually putting into our body?
Do we actually know what these ingredients mean? I can't even pronounce. I think we're going to have some fun trying to pronounce a few of these. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what does all this crap mean? What is most important for us to sift through to take away as a consumer and say, okay, I know for sure I need to avoid X, Y, and Z and embrace these new recommendations.
And I think part of it is, not only, as we sit here and we read labels with a lot of the things that we consume on a daily basis, if you're health conscious, are you counting macros? Are you counting calories? Are you counting protein? Are you counting, the ingredients that are in the food that you consume? But are you also reading what's on the back of your shampoo label? Are you reading what's on the back of your deodorants, your lotions, like I said, your
foundation,
your lotions and potions and tinctures. And what brought us to this conversation is, are you listening to your body? Like, what is your body telling you with these products that you're putting on your body? And again, we're not experts. We're experienced.
Bridget, you're kind of an expert. You are my go-to. Okay, so this spawned. So I was video chatting with Bridget and I was like, look at my eyes. I have these like orange, it was brown, but it like looked like orangish tinge just around both of my eyes. And it's been going on for a couple of months where I'm just like, why do I have such dark circles around my eyes? So I Googled it and it was like, are you eating too many carrots? And I was like, if that were my problem, come on. If like, how good would life be?
Beets?
I'm eating too many carrots a day. Not my problem. So I'm like, Bridget, what do I do about this? Do I need to go see a holistic doc? And my sister was giving me a few suggestions of what to do. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then when we return, you're going to find out what these dark circles around my eyes were. So stay on the edge of your seat with us. We'll be right back.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy clean. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with the tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
Dun, dun, dun. We're back. Okay.
back.
So the dark circles.
Yes.
So Bridget's like, do you use eyelash serum? And I said, yeah. And she goes, do you even know what's in that stuff? And I was like, well, no, it just makes your eyelashes grow and you put it on and it's really expensive.
so pretty.
Yeah. Why would I need to know what's in it? So she's like, do some research, idiot. So then I like hop online. And
I didn't call you an idiot.
Yeah, I know, but it's more funny when it sounds like you did.
But I did say it in my head.
Okay,
Yeah.
so good enough,
It
right?
was more like dumbass.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
So I go online and I look at the specific brand that I was using, and this is such a common occurrence. And I'm just like, how did that? I not even consider that. And then I was at the doctor yesterday, and I brought it up sort of just in conversation with her.
Because you didn't trust me.
No, I mean, I
Come on.
totally did. But I was like, man, have you ever heard this? And she goes, well, do you put it on at night? And I said, yeah. And she goes, oh, absolutely. You put it on and then you go lay down and it just seeps out, it migrates up and down. So she said, just put it on in the morning and it will completely reverse itself. And I was like, well, that's a brilliant idea, but I'm going to stop using it altogether because now that that's a thing, I'm switching to castor oil, which we'll talk about. That's on our list as an excellent product. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But, it was such a light bulb of just, we have no clue what we're using. We are just, as consumers, we are just taking it all in and relying on reviews, half of which are probably fake, and not paying attention. I mean, I know that there's some people, one of my probably more than one of my sisters is really good at that. But my oldest sister, she's really good at like clean ingredients, all that stuff. But it was shocking once you and I started going through household products, cosmetics, and men, you're not off the hook on this one either. We've got, we kind of know all the products that the most basic for men. And Rel, we're going to pull you into this one. So let's get into it because it's pretty interesting. And then we've got our phone lines open. So if we have anybody who wants to call in on any of their favorite products that they use, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite products also, give us a call at 520-477-1106. Oh, it's on the screen.
Perfect. But I think it's, it's really fascinating. I did not have as much of an awareness of the products that I was putting in my body, the products I was putting on my body, probably up until, I want to say maybe about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And it became really, I guess, more part of our daily routine because my son got really sick. And when I say really sick, I'm not saying as in like needed to be hospitalized or anything like that, but he had some really, just irregular GI issues and, just always cramping, always having, some sort of digestive issue, really gassy, things along those lines where I'm like,
I'm sure he loves that you just said he's really gassy as an 18-year-old boy.
This was, okay, not now. Okay, this was like 6 years ago. But it was...
He had a lot of diarrhea too.
He was sharding all the time. No, but it was more of a like, okay, he's a boy.
Yeah.
He's a boy. This is what boys do.
Yeah.
They're noisy from, from the waist down. And, this is kind of what I chalked it up to.
Yeah.
But then it just became more frequent and it was, just a lot of discomfort. And so we decided, all right, after a couple of incidences where it was just unbearable, like Tums, you couldn't get enough Tums in the kid, you couldn't get enough Pepto, and then talking about what are we putting in our body,
right?
We're treating the symptom, we're not treating the issue,
right?
And so we ended up taking him to a GI specialist. And long story short, they did a battery of testing, and they found out that he has a condition called SIBO. And that's a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
Oh.
And what that is he has like this little, like these little holes in the layer between his intestine and his stomach. So what ends up happening is the intestinal bacteria ends up going back into the stomach, where everything's supposed to just go one way from the stomach down and out the chute. But in this case, what was happening is the bacteria was going back into the stomach and causing this overgrowth and causing all of this gas and all of these issues. So what we found out during this is there are certain dietary factors that feed the SIBO issues. And one of those is gluten. One of them is lactose, refined sugars. So in understanding this new diet that he had to be on, the whole family ended up implementing this SIBO diet, so to say. And in doing that, you have to read so many ingredients. Although he didn't have celiac disease, so he could eat gluten, so to say, gluten products, but if he ate them, it would cause discomfort versus, an allergic reaction. So in doing that, we're flipping over the ingredients of everything that you buy.
It's a lot of work. There
is sugar, there is lactose, and there is gluten in almost everything that you buy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, to be so uber conscious about those types of ingredients. Then I started looking at like some of my, my products that I'm using on my body, and they say gluten-free.
Mm-hmm. A lot of hemorrhoid cream?
All the hemorrhoid cream.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you if it's gluten-free or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't read that one.
There's probably sugar in it. Because you got a sweet ass. Oh my gosh. That was good. I just came up with that on my own.
That was good. I like that.
I should have been born a man. I'd be so good at picking up women. You got sugar in your hemorrhoid cream. Damn, I really, I missed my calling in life.
You so missed your calling. You had way too much estrogen versus testosterone.
Totally. Okay, so all these weird things.
All of these weird things, all of these things were happening. And then it just made me start looking at the ingredients on the rest of my products.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went down the rabbit hole of what should you avoid?
Yes.
What should you avoid?
So especially this day and age, the overconsumption of everything, and I am so guilty of it. I am such a sucker for a good Instagram ad that's like, oh, this looks like something I should definitely be using, which, by the way, I got this new shampoo and it was targeted so perfectly to me. It said it was for fine hair, but it thickens it because I have fine hair, but I have a lot of hair. And I used this one time this morning and was like, oh my gosh, my hair has never felt better. I made you touch it at breakfast and I could just sit here and pet it was so nice. It's called Boldify. You can get it on Amazon. It is fantastic. Now, I tried to use the Yucca app to look up to see how much garbage is in it. And fortunately, it was like, we've never heard of this product. So I don't have to feel bad about that yet. It doesn't exist. So were you surprised as you started going through a lot of the stuff that you use today? Well, and actually, I'm going to shut up for a second because I think first what we need to do is sort of outline the cons. Like, what are the things that as consumers need to be aware of? And yes, this is a lot of people are like, whatever. I don't care if I have sulfates and parabens and all this stuff in my products. It works for me and I don't feel like changing it. And that's fine. We're not telling you to change anything. We're just saying we're going to help educate you on some of the things that research says this is why this is a bad thing and you should really pay attention to it. So, Bridget, educate us a little bit on what are the things we should be looking out for to avoid.
So I think some of the biggest things when we were looking at specific products. So, what we're referring to right now are what are some of the daily products that you use that may or may not have, a lot of chemicals that are used as preservatives to keep your products from expiring.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at your shampoo bottle, is there an expiration date?
No.
Your lotions?
Absolutely not.
Sunscreens are usually an expiration date on that. But when you look at all of that stuff, shampoo, your liquid foundations, your BB creams,
that stuff goes bad.
When you look at like the different types of makeup that you put on,
Mm-hmm.
Your creams, your blushes, your
lip gloss,
your ointments, shampoos, conditioners, your leave-in conditioners.
Mm-hmm.
If you're somebody that uses dry shampoo, your mousse, your hairspray, your gels, shaving cream. Guys use shaving cream on a daily, if not, more than twice a day. Anything that has that jelly component,
Mm-hmm.
so when you look at the, all of those products,
foamy things
that are, and these are all things that we use on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing more and more of your products that are paraben free, sulfate free, synthetic fragrance free,
Mm-hmm.
natural fragrances,
Mm-hmm.
Things along those lines. But at the end of the day, all of these products that we're talking about, where do they go?
Mm-hmm.
And
what are they replaced with?
And you're absorbing those into your skin, if not daily, multiple times a day.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are some of the key words that we should be aware of? What are the buzzwords?
Oh, okay. Let's see if I can pronounce half of these. So again, we are not experts. We are just experienced users in these products.
That's right.
So parabens, sulfates, synthetic fragrances. What are some of the other ones? Methylparabens, propylparabens. Like all of these things are in a lot of our daily products that we utilize, like I said, if not once a day, twice a day. And I think the biggest thing is the daily use of not just one of these products. Like, we're not just using one of these. We're using multiple products with these chemicals on a daily basis. And these are absorbed in our system. You know, so when you look at like our young teenage girls, they wear makeup every single day.
Now, the effects though for these youngsters and oldsters alike, when we are talking about parabens, when we're talking about the sulfates, as you said, they're preservatives that prevent bacteria from growing in the products. So one of the things you have to be, and why is this bad for teens? Because it's an endocrine blocker, right? And so that can lead to a lot of fertility issues. That can lead to a lot of liver and organ issues. Now, again, it's not like we're coming out and saying we know that this is directly linked to X, Y, and Z, but we know that it's a contributor. So I think that for me, that's kind of good enough of a reason to, okay, where can we switch to cleaner products when we know better? So the thing that I was shocked by, so this app that you told me about, Yucca, Yuka, you can take this, it's a barcode, and I scanned everything in my bathroom. I'm just like, I'm screwed. I don't even know what to do, because everything that I scanned said it was a garbage product. And it has every word that I'm not even going to try to pronounce that you just said. So did you go through a list of your favorites and find?
I went through a list of my favorites. Some I was really pleased to see, and then some of them I was like, oh man, I love this product. It said that it was good. It said that it was natural. And that's kind of the kicker, right? So it's you see, and it sucks because you do have to do your due diligence in order, you know, if you really want to do that, you have and have that, you know, that cleanliness and to be, you know, to put good products in and on your body, you know, you do have to do your due diligence. And it's a lot of work. You know, when you're rushing to, you know, through the grocery store or, you know, through, you know, the cosmetic section, you don't have time to flip everything over and look at it. And what does this have on it? And you really do. You trust the labeling, right? You trust that it is free of all of the chemicals that it says it's free of, that it is natural like it says it is. It is, you know, cruelty-free, all of these things that, you know, may or may not be important to you. You have to do,
you know, if you hate animals, that's fine. You could admit that.
You can admit it.
I don't care that they're putting my mascara on a rat and see what it looks like.
That's so awful. I care, listeners. I care. But it is. So my son actually introduced me to this app because he was blown away. You know, this is the benefit of the TikTok generation, right? They, you know, everything is fed to them instantly, and they
for another 10 days, and then it's gone.
And then it's gone. But he had shared this app with me, and he was like, "Mom, I cannot be using this shampoo and conditioner anymore. It has, you know, this chemical, this chemical, this chemical, and it's a hormone disruptor, and studies have found that it can cause cancer and all these types of things."
I love that he's paying that much of attention.
He is, and I'm like, okay, well then what shampoo are they suggesting? And that was kind of the neat thing about, you know, this is the one app that we're utilizing, but there are a bunch of apps out there that you can utilize that will do everything. They'll scan the ingredients for everything on foods or cosmetics or chemicals that you put in your house. Now here I am. I'm talking about, you know, all of these amazing things that, you know, these clean things that you should eat and put on your body. Do I still use Clorox bleach when I clean my house? I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not 100% clean here in my, you know, my usage and my perspective on things, but the stuff that I'm using on a daily basis that's going to be absorbed in my skin Will the Clorox bleach that I used on my white towels be absorbed in my skin? I don't know. Probably, would love to get.
I'll put it on your headstone. She loved her bleach.
Would love to get an endocrinologist in here to kind of tell us. But there are a lot of natural cleaning products out there. But you had scanned a few, if not your entire kitchen and underneath your sink of products that you utilize. I did a few on my end. And I was surprised by some of them.
Yeah, me too.
I was surprised.
Me too. And I think it goes to show how clever and dangerous marketing is.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, let's start going through our list. What do you think? Are you ready to?
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy keen. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltoalan.com. Again, that's selltoalan.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime, where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash.
When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward.
Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. All right. So go through your list of products that you were surprised.
Okay. So let's talk about deodorant for a second, because you know how everyone makes such a scene about how aluminum free, and it's like, okay, fine, but why is everyone testing this out in the summer? And then we've got everyone smells like just horrible. Because there's no antiperspirant, right? It's just a deodorant. So I'm
on the deodorant train.
Okay, me too. But let me tell you,
okay,
Native deodorant, which is not an antiperspirant, it's aluminum free. It was what did I say? Like a 6 out of 100, the ranking. It was horrible. And I was shocked, because you think you're trying to do all the right things. Where'd it go? And it's terrible. And then Lumi, which is another one, it had a poor ranking. I scanned a Dove. It was an actual antiperspirant. It was like a 1 out of 100, basically saying light this on fire now and get rid of it. So that's what I find mind blowing, is like I've paid $25 for a stick of deodorant, and $2.99 for the one that probably works the best, but it's going to give you cancer eventually, probably. But I was shocked about all these natural deodorants that claim to be so, and it has a lot of the bullet points that we were talking about: cruelty-free, paraben-free, meh, meh, meh. And this is what I got to the point where I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't own anything that ranks well, except I was pleasantly surprised castor oil was 100 out of 100.
Who recommended castor oil for you?
It was you, Bridget. It was
You're
you.
welcome.
It was one of my regifted Christmas presents.
It was my extra bottle I had under my sink.
Here you go.
Oh, this girl needs castor oil because she's got orange eyes. Here you go.
So castor oil, organic castor oil, you put it on your eyebrows and your eyelashes. They grow like weeds.
You can put it in your hair.
Like on your scalp?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else would you do with it?
That's that is the only place that I use castor oil is on my eyelashes and quit winking at me on my eyelashes and on my eyebrows. I don't use it on my hair a whole lot because I use leave-in conditioners, which are probably going to rank poor on our app. But actually, my daughter had told me to start using it. She was using eyelash serum, and so I was like, "Oh my God, your eyelashes look amazing! What are you doing?" She's like, "Well, I'm using this. I think it was like Grand Lash or something." And she was just like, "But it dries them out." So then I looked up what can I put on my eyelashes and castor oil, and this girl she now just uses castor oil. And she has like these little butterfly eyelashes that are almost touching her eyebrow. They're so long. And I'm like, what are you doing now? She's like, just castor oil.
Okay, women, make the switch from your expensive chemical-packed eyelash serums, and just use 100% organic castor oil.
Yep.
Easy switch.
Excellent. It's
$10.
a good one. So as you're talking about, specific deodorants, so it's so funny because you're saying like these ones that are supposed to be more organic and they have all of these paraben free and the sulfates free and all that great stuff. So I scanned the one that I use, which is hilarious. Old Spice of all the ones that are out there.
Old Spice.
I use a guy's
No wonder you smell so dreamy.
Wilderness with lavender deodorant.
Wilderness with lavender.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smell like a field of lavender flowers.
I like
field
it.
of flowers right under my armpits. I'll let you smell them later.
Okay. And
but everything.
This is not an antiperspirant.
It's not an antiperspirant. So, my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and the number one thing that the breast surgeon had shared with us is you need to remove all antiperspirants from your bathroom, from usage for everybody. And this was over 25, 30 years ago.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So like they knew back then that there was, something that was bad.
Wow.
So anyways, so our Wilderness with lavender deodorant is an excellent, surprisingly.
Excellent.
It's an excellent. So everything is considered low risk or risk free when it comes to the products that are in it. So I thought that was really interesting. And then one of the other ones that as we're talking to our guy listeners out there is shaving gel. Like the shaving gel that you guys put on your face, if you are a once a day shaver, a twice a day shaver, which I found really interesting. Like it's bad. Like there is.
What kind?
This one that I was looking at was a Nivea, and this is for sensitive skin. This is the one my husband uses. It has BHT in it. So, and that's considered a high risk chemical, and I can read some of the things that are in here. Okay, I'm trying. Hold on, let me think about this. I'm pulling this up. So the BHT is shown to be a potential endocrine disruptor, and it particularly on the thyroid function. So yeah. So again.
And that's what your
not
husband,
an expert here.
Well, are you switching your husband from that now?
I am going to switch him. So that's one of the neat things about these apps when we're looking at them is it gives you recommendations for products that are better. And there is every brand under the sun, and it will give you, are you sensitive skin? Do you like things that smell like peppermint? Do you want something that's unscented?
And they're ranked good.
And they're ranked either good, excellent, whatever it may be. And it gives you all of the ingredients that are in it. So, I think it's again, coming back to one of our original comments of listen to your body. Like, what are some of the things that, as you're putting these products on your body, are you getting a rash? Do you all of a sudden, you have this beautiful vanilla cashmere lotion, and now, from your elbow to your shoulder, you have like chicken skin.
Yes.
You get the little bumps, and you're like, what the heck is happening?
But at least it smells good, right?
You smell good. You look like a chicken, but you smell like cashmere. Or, are you using, new hair growth serums and all of a sudden you start getting headaches?
Or a mustache.
Or mustache.
I mean, speaking for a friend.
Or sideburns or something along those lines.
Beautiful goatee you have there, friend.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
Or, are you using a new conditioner and all of a sudden you start breaking out? Like listen to your body. It's not like all of a sudden, oh, I have acne. Like
interesting. It must be hormonal.
It must be hormonal.
Yeah.
But have you had it all along?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's, are you just now noticing this? Is this something that you've had for a long time? Do that process of elimination, remove this and see if it goes away.
See, and you're really good about that. I mean, it's so funny to me that I was whining for months about these dark circles and I'm just like, oh, well, I guess that's just what I look like now. It never occurred to me, hey, dummy, why don't you start paying attention to what you're putting on your face? It just didn't. And so hopefully there's some people out there that are like, oh my gosh, I have never considered it's what I'm using.
It's just wild.
It's crazy.
Or it's like, oh man, my stomach hurts every time I eat spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. I should just eat more. I'll power through.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just take an antacid. Well, what is it about the spaghetti that's making your stomach hurt?
Right. So when we're talking about, how to be safe and educated with a lot of these products, so looking at the ingredients, I think, is number one. And now that's going to be an almost impossible task because when you start reading the list on some of this stuff, it will take you a year to get through it and you can't pronounce any of them. But I think if we've, hit some of the buzzwords today of the bigger things to avoid. And if you get yourself one of these apps, it's a lot smarter than we are. And it will talk you through what these 76 syllable words are and what the effects are on your body. Knowing your skin type is also really important. Do you have super oily skin? Do you have sensitive skin? Do you have dry skin?
Do you have allergies? Do you have eczema?
Exactly. And a lot of these products will say, don't use with oily skin or great for whatever. So pay attention to that. I think probably legally it's just a CYA, but patch testing, and I will never patch test because I'm way too impatient for that. Like when I did the lash perm one time, it was like, do a patch test and then the next day see if you break out. I'm like, screw that. I'll if I break out, I'll know the next day either way, but I'm not going to do a little test and then wait a day.
You just spent $75
right,
for
I
a
want
patch
it
test.
now. Yeah. Get out of here.
Can you return it?
Yeah. You hit on expiration dates. So, we've talked about that in early, drinking 8-year-old cough syrup and you had quite a few things that were 4 or 5 years old. So pay attention to that because the products dilute. Stuff does grow bacteria after a certain point. And so just get rid of that. Don't overload your face with too many products. And I think that's kind of a funny one. And I found myself doing that with my hair. I'm like, oh, I have 76 things that one works for the ends and one works for the roots and one works for the color and one just simplify. I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of simplifying. And that's sort of been a theme of a lot of what we've been talking about is just simplify your life and storage. So all of these products are like, keep in a cool, dry space. Like, let me go outside into the desert and pick up my creams that I store out there. But I guess, maybe some people do that. So it has to be said, store your stuff in a cool, dry place.
You store it somewhere.
Inside, perhaps. So, okay, we've got about 8 minutes left. Let's talk quickly about how the US of A compares to the UK, because I think lately, especially with red dyes and all kinds of food additives and GMOs, it's this huge comparison between the US and other countries and things that other countries have banned that we are like just peddling to kids, adults, whoever will buy it. So you had shared an interesting fact about the FDA.
It was while we were doing our research for this, I found it just absolutely fascinating that the FDA does not regulate cosmetics. So as we're talking about, all of the stuff that we put on our face, We put on, as women, if you wear makeup, you have your under eye concealer, you have your primers, you have your concealers, you have your blush, your serums, your setting cream, your setting spray. None of that is regulated. That absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
That's scary.
Yeah. Cosmetics.
So when we talk about, in the UK, parabens are pretty much banned. Hydroquinone is pretty much banned. Lead is banned, but not in the great USA. We don't ban, we allow lead in cosmetics.
Just a little bit though. Just enough.
Yeah, but like
just enough.
That's crazy town. So that to me blew my mind. So the UK has strict limits on their parabens in cosmetics, and we have no restrictions on parabens in the US. Hydroquinone is banned in over the counter. In US, you can get it over the counter. You can get it from anyone.
Oh, we have a caller.
That means we have a caller.
Yeah, guys. So we have Melissa on the line. I'm patching her through right now.
Okay.
Hi, Melissa.
Melissa, can you hear us?
Hello.
There you go.
Hi.
Yes. Hi.
Welcome.
So I actually, thank you. I haven't been listening to the whole show, and however, I have a friend who has been listening, and she said, "Hey, you need to call in because I have a good suggestion that's kind of a timely thing."
Ooh, tell us.
Okay, so I'm a mom of littles that are actually in preschool.
Okay.
We'll be starting elementary school. And my thing is never underestimate the value of the dollar store.
Oh. Okay.
What I like to do, so we have Valentine's coming up, and as you know, young kids, they're expected to bring in Valentine's cards, and for me, I like to go there, and they have a ton of different, timely things that you can use to make your own Valentine's cards for, $10. And it's really fun because you can get the kids involved and engaged in a craft. Typically, they'll have, little wooden hearts or little, tags or something with stickers and all these different jewels and whatnot. And it's just an easy and fun way to make your own Valentine's card.
Melissa, how do you have energy as a mom of little kids to do all that work versus going to Target or Walmart and buying the pre-done pack with the toy inserted in it?
I know. And I know. All of my friends would say the same thing.
I'm impressed.
Have three girls.
Yeah.
I have 3 girls ages 5, 4, and 1.
Oh my gosh.
And so I know I'm a stay-at-home mom, but you're always kind of trying to get them involved in something, right? Even if it's on the weekend, like a little craft or whatever.
I love that.
But yeah, it's just a fun and easy way to utilize your cheap resources and get the kids engaged in making their own thing.
I love
which
that.
I think is kind of valuable in a sense.
I think that's awesome. I love that. And I love that, for Valentine's Day, and as we're talking about all of these different chemicals that we're putting in our body, the red dyes, all of that stuff, you're bringing in a craft, you're bringing in a cool little craft for the Valentines versus, a ton of candy where every kid in the class has new allergies, things along those lines. You're bringing in a neat little craft that's going to
not going to poison everyone.
That's not only going to give you time. Give you time with your kids to build that craft, so you're getting that one-on-one time, but you're also doing something a little more, I would consider an alternative option to the love lollipop, that the rest of the kids are getting. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Right. And for sure. I agree. I think it's just it stands out a little bit more, because it's kind of homemade and
way more thoughtful.
Never. Yeah. I'm all against the nasty candy stuff as well. So.
Love it. Love it. Okay, well, good. Well, that's a perfect segue. We're talking about all the things that the UK has banned that America hasn't. So that's a perfect segue into that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Cool.
We appreciate
All
you
right.
listening. Thanks for the
You're
call.
welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. That's super cool.
Well, I mean, in her defense, she did say she wasn't listening to our show. So
No, I you know what? I think to me, the fact that she's bringing in a craft and something that is homemade, like I said, you know, as we're talking about all these things that are banned in, you know, in the UK that we have here in the United States, every single candy right now going into Valentine's Day is red.
yes,
What are
I'm
all of
so
the
on board with the getting rid of the red 40. Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It's one of the reds. It's some yellows. There's some blues. There's some oranges. I don't know. There's a ton of different colors out there, and I think that, you know, if you are a parent that is looking to, you know, help your children with this as well, you know, I love Melissa's idea of bring a craft. Bring something that you know, that the kids can do together for Valentine's Day versus, you know, bringing all of these red candies to school. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't like you, but
Well, me neither. How about I just bring you a box of raisins?
I want those hot tamales.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap up with so now that we've jumped over to food. Okay, so we talked about all the things that the UK bans in cosmetics. Let's jump to food then, since we're talking about candy. So hormone treated beef, you know, that's a fun one.
Milk.
That's banned in the UK, but it's permitted widely in the US.
But think of it. It's not just, you know, if it's coming from a cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's beef.
Milk.
That's milk.
Cheese.
That's your dairy ice cream.
Oh, ice cream. I forgot about that too. Cheese.
Your creamer in your coffee.
Oh, wow.
Break it down.
That's a big bubble. Food additives like potassium bromate, brominated vegetable oil, or BVO as the cool kids call it.
What the hell is
I don't know. I've never even heard of it, but you know, it doesn't
It's
sound
on your
good.
list, okay.
But there's major health concerns around this one. And the US, we've got that. GMOs, obviously heavily restricted. I don't know why I say obviously heavily restricted in the UK, like we should know that. But not heavily restricted.
And what is a GMO, Christina?
A genetically modified organism.
Okay.
So, you know, like when you see strawberries that are this big and you're like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, is it? How did they get that? That's a strawberry on steroids. Steroids is another thing that's allowed in the US loosely. You know, you can. Raul, are you on steroids? Do we need to talk?
That was a loaded question. No, it was a joke. Jeez.
Hold on.
Hold on. Let's see it. Put your arm up. Come on, Raul. Come on.
Hey, I'm saying I've never taken them, and I'm ending the conversation.
He was cheering that no steroids. Woo!
Right.
Not that I love steroids.
Right.
Woo! No.
My 15-year-old is really proud of herself because she's been taking a women's fitness class at her school.
I love it.
And so she comes home every time she has a class and she talks about how she did a personal record, a PR, for squatting or deadlifting or whatever. And, you know, she's 5'2", 90 pounds soaking wet. So when she's like, oh, I deadlifted 140 pounds today, I'm like,
wow.
Damn. So she was sick over the break. So took her to urgent care. She'd been, you know, like we thought she had strep. It was just going on for so long. So like, oh, we'll give her some steroids. And the doctor leaves the room and she was like, Christina, is that like real? Am I really getting steroids? And I started laughing because like she truly, you know, that's the first time she's had that, and she really didn't know. And I was like, no, it's fine. So she had a friend over and she was talking about her women's fitness class, and I was like, she's so full of it. Don't listen to her. She's on steroids. Like she's faking all of these PRs, and so she thought that was pretty funny. She felt pretty cool. Like she's like, yeah, I am, and
that is
I'm all
so
buff
great.
now.
I love it.
Okay,
Not those
Bridget,
kind
I
of
feel like we
steroids.
could keep yapping for another hour, but our show is over.
I loved this topic. I appreciate, your orange eyes bringing this to awareness. So thank you. But I think at the end of the day, watch what you're putting in your body. Watch what you're putting on your body. Be aware and just know that the daily use of these products with all of these chemicals are not great for you. So, your takeaway for today is look on the back of some of your products and replace them one at a time. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be something that's crazy expensive, but just slowly make that change to a healthier, better you.
I did think we were going to get some hot tips about products at the dollar store. I got excited.
Well, you didn't. So, dream crushed. Sorry about that.
We'll see you for season 2 next week. Bye. Oh, wait.